Welcome to Truth Be Told, hosted by Celina Miguel Cordoba L, Empress of 10,000 Years, aka CE10K, and yours truly, your boy Aseer the Duketeers.
Hold on, let me get makeup ready. I have my lip gloss. And this is what it is, son. I'm thankful Aseer came back from New York. He brought my favorite wine. So I'm gonna enjoy some wine and go in. Now, this is all it is. Okay, for what I wear. People always say, what makeup? What shadow? I don't have on any makeup. I would look like crap melting off brown on camera. So I better drink water because you can't really map this when you're in the sun. The same thing, this is a MAC lip gloss, and it's called Oh Baby. For women that like a little bit of like shine without all the stuff, it's a great color. So I put it on just to make myself feel like I'm camera friendly and ready. And today I must say that I look great because I have on my absolute favorite heels. They are Gucci's, okay, originals.
Yeah, we match.
We both have on our Gucci's. He's had these a little longer than I've had mine, but I literally, with my business, I try to think of something like once every 6 months that I really, really like, and I invest in it, and I buy it for myself. So,
Right.
Thanks to having a supportive mate who's like, of course, buy what makes you happy. I'm very thankful because I rarely stand up and show you the heels. These are gorgeous. These are worth it. These are nice. And when you have heels, you can wear a pair of jean shorts and this is an old Urban Outfitters time. So, you know, a lot of people are like, who styles you? Who's holding the camera?
Us.
I would love to have a team, okay? If people think that I actually want to do this by myself and sit here just with one, with Aseer, we always have a wish to have larger, to be able to do more. But if you're always galvanizing and running after energy to do what you want to do, then slow down a little bit. It might not be for you to work with a lot of people if it's difficult to gather that energy in order to support your vision. So I really have always wanted to work with other people, be a part of what they're doing, be like I have a Libra rising. There's a part of myself that really enjoys working with people. And what does that mean? Good point. For those that do study astrology, I can sit here and talk about my third house placement, my Mercury, why women sometimes don't trust me, how I could come off a little judgmental based on this, based on that. I could go through my whole chart, but there's not a lot of people that understand astrology like that. And those that do, I don't want to bore people and sit here and talk about how smart I know how to break down astrology. Because at the end of the day, it's really about yourself and how you are going to assimilate into an ever-changing world that is going to probably constantly, the people within it, because remember, if people are energy, then people that come to you are going to test your resolve, your energy, but also really allow you to know what it is you contribute to a cipher and what it is you need to work on. So for myself, I attract a lot of people that are seeking to think about what they might want to do in terms of making money. Or I attract people going through transition stages, whether it be changing out of a job, losing a mate, losing something, gaining something, crossroads. We usually, or I specifically, usually attract people that are at a crossroads. Becoming pregnant, having just had a baby, very big times in their life. So if you are born on a 22 number, like myself and Aseer, or like an 11, those double master, quote unquote master numbers, they definitely get or attract a certain type of energy. And before I understood this about astrology, these things were still happening to me. So it's to say that even now I understand certain stuff. It's still to say that we are all works in progress, and people might have looked at my chart, which is why I'm not really shy about it. But those that have looked at my chart, it's to say that you might think A, B, and C based on what my chart dictates, But if I know those things and I'm working on them, then you can actually flip aspects of your chart to work for your benefit. So, I love working with people and I hope to do so. But when I find myself texting people more than like 3 times and I don't get a response back, I start to take it personal. I'm like, wow, why aren't they texting me back? Why? Whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down, Celina. Rather than ask yourself, why aren't they texting you back? Ask yourself, why do you need a response from them? Or why are you waiting for Godot to give you the green light to move forward? Well, because I want a thing I don't want her to feel. That's great, but all I can really take care of is my son, people that don't feel allergic to me helping and taking care of them, and myself. And really, the first priority should be myself and my child, so that I have strength to take care of other things. But that's not the way the world always is. Sometimes, especially based on your nature, hear that? The world will, or the people within it, will test your resolve and stuff. So, great example. Since I started doing this, I said to Aseer, we're going to attract people that don't like us at all. People are going to like really make it their testimony to like treat me like crap on camera or off camera and to try to like disintegrate what it is I'm doing, which really is creating a platform to do what I've hoped other people would give me. So because I haven't gotten that and I'm 37, I don't want to become bitter. So let me do these things on my own rather than waiting for somebody to give me permission to do so. That's the only reason why I started this. It's like the same thing with my lotion line, CordobaOrganics.com. But I never wanted to use this forum to advertise all 7 of the butters that I've made. I'm asking people to go to the site because the site is very explanatory. It's something that I worked on for a really long time. Yes, I'm a brown-skinned, dark-skinned woman, but my site is in Japanese as well. And my website is designed for people of all color.
Put that in the water?
Yeah, you hear that, right? But because I'm a black woman, because I'm a Moor, I'm brown-skinned, some people might only think that my lotion line has been made for people that are brown-skinned. How ignorant is that? Well, that's what people want to box you into. And like life, it's for you to recognize that the box might be there, but not to take it so personally or make yourself feel like you're inside of that box. So if people think that that's all I'm doing, that's their thoughts. When you go visit my website, you'll know that it's for Caucasian women, women of Asiatic descent, meaning, brown skin, Japanese, Asian, Chinese American. But I'm not here to sell all that. What I'm here to do is try to bring things together in love. And if people don't want that to happen, then they won't be in my life. They won't be my friend. And that's what I have to remember. So I was talking about, I read all my comments because I'm trying to do this to touch people, to not just sit up here and talk about myself all the time, but talk about things in the world and why it's important for us to stay empowered, to know that there's more than meets the eye, to know that there's more stories about people of color that don't have to be berating, that don't have to be dogmatic, degrading, berating, or dogmatic. Aseer has been teaching for years, but it's not until we do certain things to be seen that sometimes people's memories get struck or people are reminded that he's still teaching. But, because I've created this platform for myself and not negating what Aseer does, him being a part of it because he enjoys and I enjoy doing things with him, what would have happened if I sat up here and did the show by myself? Would viewers think that we work together? Would people think that, oh, she's by herself, so, she must not have a voice box or a platform to do her own thing? None of those things are based in reality. I enjoy working with him. He enjoys working with me, so we try to do things together. But if I were to break apart and do things on my own, so many people might internalize that as we've been separated, we're no longer together. Thank you, my love. My son Amor, who has brought his work for me because I gave him some work to do. This is excellent. You can start from 24. You can bring your pen and come downstairs. Okay? Go run up and get it, and then you can come down. I'll hold it for you. Is to say that when you do start to do things on your own, I realized that after years of supporting Aseer, a lot of people might internalize me doing things on my own as a means to compete with him, or to like try to sidetrack or sidebar what he does. When in actuality, it's just, I have a talent and I feel I have a purpose, so why not speak in front of the camera, which is what I went to school to do. But it's also something that really makes me happy to know that I might not have the energy or the time in the world to have a whole bunch of friends to have a discussion like this with. So if I set up a camera, utilize social media to reach 1,000, 5,000 people, 5 million people, then how amazing is it that a camera can do that? And that's really my purpose. Like, even though I enjoy dress and I enjoy fashion and I enjoy doing other things, I don't feel that it's always necessary to talk about what I look like when I know that I have something to say that I hope can reach a lot of viewers. And that's my purpose. So what's been great, hey beautiful, it's a huge body right here. What's been great is that what I do is cause so many people to be angry, to really be like, she's a gremlin, she's a this, she's a that, she's so ugly, and I have to laugh because
It's like one person.
it's a couple people, but one person in particular, he created like a page and put all of our videos up there of how horrible a person I am, and I was like, yay, I must be doing something right if I could cause this person to be so angry in his life. And I don't know if I know him, he knows me, but I don't want anybody to get under my skin that much that they have the ability to, whoop, Asheo, I'm sweating underneath my legs. That they have the ability to drive me wild, to make me crazy, to make me feel like, I should stop what I'm doing. No. It's to say that that's a good thing. I have to be strong enough to not let those things affect me. Just like people in the world have to be strong enough, if they do grow their own hair, to not allow family members to make you feel like you're some extreme Rasta. And what's wrong with that? If somebody wanted to be an extreme Rasta, what's wrong with them growing their locks to indicate that? I'm not Rastafarian, but when I do read the tenets of Rastafari, I kind of fit in it. I'm very much like, I would say, a Moor, somebody that's more than Rasta, more than a Rasta woman, because my lover wear poom poom short, and my lover heel, and a lot of Rasta women might seek Babylon come burn fire upon me because I like showing my legs and I don't wrap my hair up. I don't wrap my hair up because it hurts my head. Once my hair is wrapped, it literally hurts. I was just saying hi to the bee. It hurts me. Yummy, yummy, yummy. So I don't do all those things, but life is here to really take a bite out of it and to enjoy your journey. So I really am trying to think of why certain things have happened to me in my life. For example, why I attract really amazing women, and then after we work together, they are out of my life completely. I call them 4 or 5 times a day, text them all the time. They don't text me back. They stop calling me. So am I going to be the psycho girlfriend that's just text, where are you? Why don't you text me? No, I'm going to text a couple times and then realize, wow, I keep pushing forward and this person has shut the door. So what is that telling me? I'm not going to take it personal, but it's telling me to move on. And I've had to learn how to not take it personal because it really bothered me. We used to work with a producer, great female producer, in New York. She was from Jersey, we were from New York. She heard Aseer speak. We ended up meeting and she was like, yo, I make music. And I was like, what? You're a producer? You make music? She's like, yeah, let me give you some of my stuff. We went home, listened to her stuff, and she was amazing as a beat producer. Amazing. So I got in touch with this sister and I was like, yo, we have an idea of what we would like to do for our album, and we would love to work with a female energy because Aseer works really well with women, and he's the one that usually writes all the choruses. And I wanted to know what it would be like to work with a Cancerian energy, a woman that wasn't afraid to work with us. And it was amazing. We had a great, great journey. We knew her for like 2 years solid. I mean, she was going through a divorce with her husband at the time, who was like a little bit of a militant, he was a militant Muslim, right? And she was raised as a Muslim, but you know, she was starting to free up, and I guess they started to go their separate ways. So when we would go to her house, Aseer and I would notice how uncomfortable it would make her husband. So me, and in tuning this, I would talk to him for hours while we were there. They would work in the basement. I would talk to her husband for hours just to balance the energy and not make him feel like, you know, we were trying to flip something with this girl. We actually just really liked her music and wanted to work with her. Yes, she was pretty, but
It's not always about sex.
it's not always about being beautiful and about sex. And it wasn't for us. So I was really thankful that this girl and him wrote amazing songs. So much so that I remember telling her, I said, yo, you're not out there like that right now, but watch what happens. We're gonna work with you. And I guarantee you, after we work together, so many people are gonna wanna work with you. She was like, nah, don't gas me. I said, it's something that Aseer and I do, I don't know.
Yeah.
Once we work with somebody or
Do something, that's when everybody want to do it.
once we show camaraderie or we love somebody, that's when people are like, oh, let me be their friend and dissuade or dispel them from being together. And I prepared her for it so much because I knew it was going to happen. Not only because she was talented, but because she was pretty. So a pretty talented girl, what are y'all doing with her? Are y'all flipping something with her? You having sex? What you doing? She like you? You have more support? Well, let me F that up. And literally, she worked with us. I was pregnant with our first child at the time. I lost that baby. But I called her at the hospital when I was miscarrying. And I was like, sis, you know, I just really want to build with you. Something's going on. It was like from the moment that I really needed her, that's when she stopped writing me. That's when she stopped calling. It's like our album came out. We did great. Thank God we got her to sign a non-disclosure agreement because this girl is doing her thing now. But she's working with so many Moors that we loved at one point. But because we didn't necessarily want to be people's like emotional, like little bitches in New York, we made a determination early on, like, wow, these people are in it for different reasons. They want to make money, they want to hustle the people, they want to like seem cultural, but they don't actually want to get the work done. They just want to gain the popularity and the notoriety from like feeling smart. And who else is going to allow them to do that but Aseer? So certain brothers would be like, yo, let me interview you. And like use his interview and like make money off of our tapes, but never share the wealth with us. So it started to feel like, wow, are we just like jumping through hoops to show people that we're willing to work with them, but they actually don't really even like us. They just want to use us to make a name for themselves and then use that platform to do whatever they want to do. Isn't that the way life is?
Yes.
Aren't people inspired by people that are right next door to them?
Yes.
Don't people copy you all the time?
Yes.
I started to realize that's great. That's a great thing. Imitation, flattery, it works hand in hand. But I'm not going to sit in my kitchen and cook my couscous salad and make my soup in hopes that nobody cooks like me. I'm going to show how to make the recipe exactly how I make it, so people that are looking to learn how to cook better can utilize my recipe for their good and their benefit. But what does become kind of whack is when people make the same soups or the same recipes for their friends and don't say, you know what? Sister Celina taught me how to do this. She was great in making like a bacon sandwich with not soy and tofu, or, you know, with salmon. I want to share my wealth, but I don't want to get cut out of the wealth bucket when others are profiting. And there's nothing wrong with knowing your worth and value enough to say, I don't always want to cast my pearls to people that aren't going to value them.
That's right.
So I'd rather sit in my own containment tank and work with people and work with energy that I can reach a lot of people still and hopefully dispel all the myths dispel all the hearsay.
Right.
We would have this woman that worked with us, that made music with us. She would invite us to Jersey to go eat with her. And I started to realize, like, wow, we're doing a lot of like intimate things together. We're going to the movies, we're going to eat dinner together, we're having great conversations about marriage, about sex, about life. But I never felt that she wanted anything from him or from me. I never felt like she wanted to have a threesome or flip something. So we had a high relationship, meaning that it wasn't dictated by our lower chakras. I felt that she was mature enough to be able to, on a cold winter night, she's like, oh my God, God, it's freezing. I'm gonna sleep in your bed. This woman slept in our bed together. It was never no funny play. It was never no weirdness. But I share this with you to say, I might have been stupid. I might have been gullible to think that a grown-ass woman could sleep in our bed and not want to do anything. But there's a part of me that's kind of naive like that. And I realize that. Not to mean that I'm stupid, but I think that everybody can get along. I think that girls that are single,
She does.
that are attracted to him, I hopefully eventually think like, wow, this is going well. Like for one of our girlfriends, I'm just gonna move the camera up. Hold on a second. Let me check, make sure we're good. Thank you. Like one of our girlfriends, she would always flirt with the idea of being with him. So, you know, after like being friends with her for 10 years, I'm like, hey, you aren't with anybody. You kind of insinuate to your family members that we're doing something. Do you want to have sex with us? Do you want to be together? Oh no, that's my brother. I would never, we would never. And she denied it. So I only asked like once or twice because I'm not the type, I'm not looking for that experience, first of all. But because it's coming to me so much, I didn't want to be a gullible chick and negate the fact that some women might be comfortable with the both of us. Some women might really want to experience a threesome with Aseer and myself for whatever reason. Some people kind of get inspired by things that don't seem like it's going to hurt them. So, you know, I asked the questions I needed to ask. It offended her, but she stuck around for a couple more years. And when I think I started telling you guys this, but whenever she would date a guy, that's when she would kiss my husband on the mouth hello. That's when, like, if we were all to go out somewhere, that's when she's just like ogling over every word he's saying. But, you know, when it comes to us in private of me talking to her, she's like, oh, no, I would never, I could never. All right, I'm not gonna like sell an idea. The same thing, I'm not gonna keep forcing myself to be seen in an arena that I'm not necessarily invited in. So there'd be people that have parties, that do great things 5 blocks away from where I live, that seem cordial and nice when we run into them. They have our email address, they know what we would love to do, but when it comes to inviting us, they don't. So I'm not gonna be thirst bucket and like run to them. Hey, you had a this, but you didn't invite me. You had a hair party, but I didn't get invited. Maybe they don't want me there. Maybe I need to not be so, take it so personal. Maybe I need to realize that that's not where my friendships lie. Maybe I need to like move on in life and stop texting people that don't text me back. That's just the way life is. But, you know, there's things in my sign that makes me, that would almost trigger me to want to know why. And because of that, I learned that about myself and I stopped asking those questions.
That's real talk.
It's the same thing. Something's going on in like the social media world. You know, the whole thing with Beyonce is Solange and Jay-Z. You know, when don't come out in the wash, come out in the
Told y'all
rinse.
niggas about that dude, man. I told y'all.
The good thing about it is the whole Rachel Roy, Aaliyah scandal, I said, wow, Beyonce could wear a sweatshirt of Aaliyah because the sisters now passed on to the essence. Aaliyah was one of their hugest competitors because Aaliyah, who was about 100 pounds, no big bum and big hips, she was slaying these dudes.
Yep.
She had these dudes around her pinky finger like 1 in a million.
That's
you hear me?
right.
She was running these dudes with 100 pounds.
Yep.
So now that we're in the big booty syndrome, I always laugh because I go, some petite women made it work. Some petite woman
Like Left Eye.
Like Left Eye, like Lisa Left Eye Lopez. She was a tiny drop height. And what I loved about her, she didn't get her boobs done. Shout out to Chile. Some women stay with their nice little boobies, and they look wonderful. This is a society that will force you to feel like you've got to look like everybody else. And when that happens specifically to me, I end up embracing my curls, my necks, not putting my hair up, going all the way out and stuff. Yes, my locks have a little bit of lint in them, because the lint is actually what allowed my hair structure to conk up, to freeze up. I wash it, it smells like lavender and coconut oil, and it's wonderful, but I don't need to sell my clean hair to somebody because I have a couple of links and some of the ones that are a little thick. That's my business. I've embraced my hair because it's what I've chosen to do. And if that offends certain people, well then figure out why it offends you. If me living my life and doing what I do has caused you to start a hate page about me, then Lord, I must be doing something right. Because I am not going to stop or to feel bad or to change myself to fit into something that makes other people, especially if it's a large mass, comfortable. I'm just not going to do it anymore. I'm way too old, and I have nothing to prove to anybody anymore. What I have to prove to myself is that I don't need the approval of others in order to do something that I feel the Creator has destined me to do.
That's right, babe. You don't need no approval for none of that.
Same thing with our nationality cards. Oh gosh, y'all are this, y'all sold out. It's hysterical. If you as a black person don't want to leave the block, if you don't want to get out the city you were born in, then you won't get a passport. But I've already been to Europe. I've been to Florence and Italy and Milan. I've been to Rome and Morocco. Thank God. I've been to places that have allowed me to realize America is this small. I don't necessarily want to stay here my whole life. My website is in Japanese because I'm trying to go to Japan. I want to be around people and be around energy that I've never met before. And that's what I'm striving to accomplish. I'm striving to accomplish hopefully meeting Floyd Mayweather, telling the story of the history of the Moors to him, to people that really want to hear it. Aseer can sit up here and use this platform to talk about us as Moors, to talk about why he's not in Hidden Colors 3. But didn't we tell you? Hidden Colors?
I told y'all.
And what is it about more now? Didn't we say it was going to be about more civil rights?
It all started with Moors not being blacks, and now it's going into blacks and whites, and the rise of racism, and this and that, and all of that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But
it's more than cool. It's just been done before.
You already know about all that.
We know this story because it's been taught in black colleges for centuries, for years. But remember, black universities are black colleges based on their agreement to keep the lie going. So a lot of speakers that have graduated from these black universities, it's wonderful, but they can't really work outside what their alum gives them permission to talk about and or do. And most black colleges have major fraternal orders in them. Because black universities, even though it's great camaraderie and it makes us feel like that college is there to teach us about our history, it's not. Black colleges, if you're going to a black college to learn about African American history, it's going to teach you everything about history after a certain period of time. How come history is never talked about when we were ruling things for centuries? When we were in a position of power? We obviously had to be, if karmically we're in a position of being hated on so much for the color of our skin. I've even noticed here. So many people try to convince me that I'm an ugly person. That I don't look good, I'm ugly. But I know I'm not, because when I look in my son's face, I see his beauty and he looks just like me. What's up, beautiful? Oh, this is wonderful. This is wonderful, Amor. I'm so proud of you. Yes, you may, baby. Is to say that I look at his face and I know I'm not ugly. And I laugh at it like, did you ever believe that? I said, no. What it is that when you choose to not give your sexuality and your box to a whole bunch of random men between the ages of like 16 and 25, you know, those are the ages usually where women are discovering their sexuality and, you know, figuring out who and how they are through sex. I chose not to do that because of how emotionally driven and how emotional I can be. I didn't want any man to have an ownership or to feel like he could send me messages on who I am, how I should react, based on the fact that I let him inside of me. So I specifically didn't have sex. That didn't mean that I was insecure. So some people might say,
people didn't want to have sex with you.
oh, I had many offers. But what's funny about it is if I say that, it's like, oh no, you didn't, you're lying. I don't have to lie about my life because God sees and hears all. And I think it's kind of whack to lie about stuff because you're just lying to yourself at the end of the day. For me, I think people are shocked when they see brown-skinned, dark-skinned women that are attractive. People look at my face and go, I was just in the grocery store. The white man stopped me and said, I love your hair. I said, thank you very much. He said, well, it only works on really pretty girls. And I laughed because the white man could tell me I'm really pretty, but then yet still a brother that I'll pass, he'll look at me and act like I'm not even a piece of dirt off his shoe. I got that nappy hair, I stink, I'm this. That's great. I don't care because I'm not having sex with you. And you're not in my family. And I haven't allowed you to affect me because you're just an energy that represents something malefic. And that's okay. The same thing. I have a state ID, a driver's license, and a passport that all says my title of nobility. It all reflects the title of nobility on them. That's wonderful for me. It might not make me money, but I didn't do it to make me money. I did it to prove to myself that I could have a standard and a nationality represented on my state IDs, as well as recognized by the government. And they recognize me as a Moor. The IRS put the nice little signature right at the top. It says Moor. So for me, it's not to convince a whole bunch of people debating that Moors aren't real. Believe all you want to believe. I know what I know. And it's okay for me to know that because I'm not trying to make money and galvanize a whole nation to be behind something that others might not want to believe is true.
Because it ain't for everybody.
It is not for everybody. And I'm okay with that. It's the same thing of like knowing why, people are so triggered to do crazy things. Mimi, for example, with the sex tape. We all could see that, Nico leaked it on his own. She can convince herself that he didn't do it as long as she wants. But he was in a space where he wanted to be seen, and they wanted to make money. So whether they made $100,000 or $5 million, you're still making money doing something that's putting yourself in a position to let the whole world see how your box is. And I could be homeless and that not be an option for me. That's just who I am. That's what I've chosen to be of importance to me this lifetime. I don't want to have to be on a pole if I'm a dancer. I don't want to have to do certain things because that's almost what's set up for me to do. I'm thankful to be broke sometimes and have wealth in other ways. And now that that is happened and I've acknowledged it, now I want to be materially wealthy. I want to have money enough to buy my son a house where he has his own bedroom, where mommy's bed doesn't have to be in it. You know what I mean? Like, we all want more for ourselves. But I don't want to have to get there by stealing other people's artistic abilities and acting like they were mine. I didn't do this forum because I saw somebody else getting numbers doing it. And I just wanted, well, I'm going to do the same or a similar thing because if that's getting them popularity, then probably I can get 100,000 hits. Yeah, I can sit up in front of the camera right now, start to play with myself, and bend over and show you all the yoga positions I can do with my legs in the air, with my head touching through my bum, and turn men on. But that is not, I can also use my voice. I can also talk. I can also educate and not be embarrassed that I had to go to such lengths to bend over and show the crack. I show many photos of myself in G-strings because I do know that sex sells, but I don't want to have to bend over and show the whole concave of how my ass works in order to sell a coffee butter. It just doesn't work for me like that this lifetime. I'm sorry. And other people might think that that's stupid. Other people might think that I can be the next Oprah if I cut my hair and just do so and so. That might be true, but I also might not like the fact that I had to do those things in order to prove something to somebody.
You're absolutely right.
I don't know why Miss Jackson would leave Floyd Mayweather to be Nelly's whore. You understand what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day,
Like, come on.
yes, he might have had a lot of women, but you knew that when you met
But that
Floyd.
ain't got nothing to even do with Jackson. She's just manipulating. She's just.
Anything. Just give me a second. I want to finish.
I'm gonna finish what we're doing.
And this is the thing as well. Like, he's wonderful, but I'm not gonna always feel bad about what I want to do. Amor has to learn that mommy and daddy are always here and we're always with him. So if I ask him to step away for 5 minutes because I don't want to talk grown stuff with him here, then that's my choice. It's not that I'm dissing him to have camera time. I've set this up for a while because Aseer just got back about a week ago. And of course, he gets back from his dad's funeral and there's no rest for the weary. Phone off the hook. Everybody, well, I need this, I need that, I need the other. People are taking my money. I just want to make sure you're not. If you get burned by other dirty people, don't come to us and make us feel responsible for what has happened for you with those people. If you've chosen to buy UCC packages and documents that are not going to allow your nationality to be recognized, then don't come to me and say, hey, I just spent $500 with somebody, so now I need you to clean up what I've done. And I hope you can tell me how to gain my nationality status without me giving you $1. Because that doesn't work for us. I feel bad for people, but why do I always have to feel so bad that I'm willing to do everything for free now that you've invested your money with other people that it hasn't worked with them? That's not fair to us.
It was not to cut your wisdom, like I was
You're never
saying.
cutting me. I'm just on a roll because I'm a little tipsy. Tipsy.
With the Jackson, Miss Jackson, Mayweather Nelly thing. She's just picking up and exploiting the subtle undercurrent probably beef that they already had. You know what I mean? Because everybody hate on Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Floyd is people don't know. I found out he's an Israelite, like a Hebrew Israelite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
cool.
he on that tip on the low, but the thing about it is him and like Zab Judah, a couple of people on it like that. All that's cool, you know what I'm saying? Like we're Moors, we're Hebrews, you know what I mean? Canaanites, all that. It's just that there's a thing in that so-called industry that I peep that a lot of people tend to stay within the same genotypes that they basically come up in. So
Right,
if
so
you
like Nelly and Floyd.
right, so Nelly
or
and Floyd will share
like
Jackson.
Dame
Dame
Dash
Dash
and Jay-Z.
and Jay will share Aaliyah, Beyonce, Rachel Roy, whoever. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a thing going on with that because there is a theosophic, you know, sexual, ritualistic aspect of those relationships that are always downplayed. But because mainstream now has picked up.
Even Nas and Jay-Z. Like
yeah,
Nas doing Ether. As a Virgo,
now.
Nas still believes the lyrics that he dropped in Ether right now. But he figured, you know what? I might as well team up with this dude and get my money. But getting your money doesn't necessarily mean you get it long term. It's like, it's great that you got your money and that you're working with Jay-Z. But the one thing I respected about Nas was him being able to take a stance and being able to do a song like that. Because it obviously came from a place of truth from him.
See, the difference between the Nas record, the Nas Ether, and let's say Tupac when he did Hit 'Em Up, was that Ether, you could tell, was just straight real. Like everything he was saying in that, he obviously knew this person. So to me, that's the pinnacle of diss records ever. You'll never get one that's iller than that to me. Whereas Hit 'Em Up was just as good, but there was elements in that was still kind of fantastical. You know what I mean? Where he was kind of just exacerbating the situation. With the Nas thing, this was based upon, again, the fact that this guy was pursuing Nas, again, through other women, through his baby moms, who, again, also knew the issues with him and with Jay and Nas. So what did she do? She chose to pop off with Jay, to the point where then Jay, what does he do? He shits on her to the point where he talk about he boned her and left condoms on on Nas's baby's
Baby's
on the
car
baby
seat.
seat, the baby
But
car
now-
seat.
but
But
now
do the knowledge to this. This is still the woman. The woman is the one that opened it up for that to even happen.
Yes, but the men, certain men have, like Aseer said to me, with the whole Jay-Z, Dame Dash, he said that whole stuff has nothing to do with Rachel Roy. It has to do with the two dudes.
Yep.
And I say that's even gayer. That's
Yes.
even worse.
Yes,
Because
it
what
is.
I appreciate is a homo
Yes, it is.
that comes out and says, I like men. I think I think guys are kind
You
of
could
cool.
trust that.
I can trust it. We've known a couple of really honest, amazing homos that will keep it really, really real, that are real enough to still stay around a heterosexual and not trying to turn him or make him gay. Okay, that's a whole nother topic in discussion. But you know, it's to say that so many people like sharing the same cesspool energy because it's just what it is. It's like that whole Chris Brown, Karush, Rihanna, Drake, all of that is very interesting to me too. But some people like recycling the same energy because that's what they come up in and that's what they want to be recognized as. Like no matter how much I want to shake certain energy that I knew in New York, it still tries to attach itself to me out here in Miami. So I'm like, wow, I've done so much to show you love, to let you go, to allow you to obsess in whatever way you need to. But I'm not obsessing over you. Because one thing I will say, I've learned that if I don't want to be like emotionally triggered, I don't go on other people's Facebook pages. Because I have the ability to be affected by what other people do. I specifically don't visit other people's Facebook pages to watch what they're doing. Because I'll feel personally egged. And I already know my nature. I'm like, you know what? Let me not even watch what this girl is doing. Because I know she got my yoga tape based on what she told me. And she's probably going to do X, Y. And I can't care. That doesn't matter. People will try to sound like you, look like you, walk like you, talk like you. But that is just to say that they love who you are. And they're trying to figure out what their talent is in life. And that's okay. Be okay with that. The same thing. If you want to become recognized as more than an African American or a Negro or a Bayesian, then there is a way that that can occur. But I am not going to drop the energy of what I'm talking about and use this as a forum to show how intelligent we are because I already know that he knows how to do it.
Right. Also, you can listen to Super Heru. Like I said, when we started this forum, this is more a forum to kind of like just build on an overview of different topics based upon the fact that there really is, or we have not seen anybody that's really striving to put a voice to a certain missing pieces and a contingency, a whole contingent of the so-called American populace that people don't even know exist. These people don't even know that we really even exist like that. You understand? They think that all so-called melanated people or all so-called black people are all from Africa, enslaved, all that. And let's keep it real. Some people was enslaved. Let's really keep it real. Some people were.
And that's not a bad thing. It's just to say, you know, you are what your forefathers were. So, you know, energetically, people that always talk and remind us as a nation that slavery occurred. We were all enslaved. You know, the whip, the chattel, the this, that is there. That is true. But it won't allow us to remember that we were also kings and queens.
Exactly.
We were also people that set certain stuff up
Exactly.
for this nation, the United States, the corporate aspect, to function and exist.
Right.
So, you know, this isn't popular. I won't be surprised if I'm surprised that 5,000 people have listened to what we do already. Just even with this forum. Because I have my own hair, I'm brown skinned, you know, I'm with a man.
We're two melanated people together.
Those are all negations. It's like, nope, and no. So for me, I just laugh because I'm like, the people are going to break through all that.
Right.
People are reminded that there is life out there that doesn't have to be based on abuse, based on who we're having sex with, based on, and that's why I share all the little sex talks, the things that have happened to us, because really not much has occurred yet. What has happened to us is us watching what has occurred in other people's lives, and us realizing what we shouldn't allow our energy to participate in.
Word.
Because it's draining, and it's not necessarily going to create a place where we can heal and move forward as a people. Some people just want to hurt. They don't want to heal. And that's okay. For me, it's to remember that there's a lot of people in pain that haven't attracted one person that loves them.
Right.
So when you have one that does, it can come off like you think that you're everything. And I have so much work to do in the world still. And I have so much to look forward to, with him and without him. Because we both came here in separate journeys. We've allowed ourselves to have a bridge that connects us. But by no means do I want that bridge to imprison me and to make people feel like if they see me do something without Aseer, that I'm trying to, oh well, her man must not have supported. That is crazy. But that's why I'm taking the responsibility and the time to say, I know what it is I've created. I've created a situation where people aren't even used to seeing us apart. So when he went to his dad's funeral in New York, people were like, what happened with Celina? Where is she? I didn't have the 500 to spend on a ticket for myself. We just had the Jeep or Aseer and more. I didn't have the money to spend on myself to travel to New York. So I stayed here and took care of our dogs, took care of my mind, realized what it is I appreciate about what we've cultivated, and realized what I can do more of for myself. And that's what a lot of married women don't give themselves time to think about. I have cooked dinner for my family for the last 14 years straight, that I rarely get time to do things outside of taking care. But that's not a bad thing, because I wanted to have a family. A lot of successful women know, family or business, it's very rare that you get to have both. They usually get their career and then start a family, and then try to assimilate that family into their career. Now that I have the family, I want to do the same. I want to go for the gold, because I do know that a lot of people agree and feel the way we feel. There just hasn't been a template and a forum for those people that feel like this for it to be expressed. Right. If Chelsea Handler could have a talk show, why can't Celina be able to keep her locks, keep her long nappy hair? If I'm not Rastafari and if I'm not this and the other, why can't I use who I am to hopefully reach people that do look like this, that do have the same experiences? I know some people that have been married for 15 years, they've got to attract threesomes. They've got to attract people that make their marriage seem like it's an obstacle for them to accomplish their dreams and goals. I've thought about that, like, wow, if I wasn't married, if people didn't think I was a Moor, maybe I would be seen like this. Maybe my work, maybe it's for the maybes. That could be, but to be honest, I never know, because I don't want to have to negate who I am in order to get more. So
that's what most people do. Our people, they just came out with a whole thing in the army that said that they gotta, no black women can have natural hairstyles. So they're basically telling that black women, if you want to go in the army, you're gonna have to cut your hair and get a perm. Same thing, they're trying to crack down on this whole affirmative action thing. They're about to dead that in basically every state in the union. So what that's gonna do, that's gonna be the precursor to them stepping up on the First Amendment. Now, if they try to go against the First Amendment, you ain't gotta worry about black people wilding out. These white people are gonna shut it all down. So you ain't even gotta worry. They will literally come to the hood, give you guns to do whatever to help them stop the government, or what they perceive as the government, to stop them from doing what they want to do in terms of getting their money and screwing people over for money, as they've been doing it for the past 239 years. Either way, that has nothing to do for those of us that are actually functioning under our own ecclesiastical government by which the ancestors left for us to have. But like I said, this ain't for everybody. Like even this form that the Queen manifested, this ain't for everybody. This ain't for everybody in the sense that everybody is going to agree with everything we're saying. Some people going to think that we stunting, we saying this and all of that. And really, in certain instances, we might be. You know what I'm saying? Because we've never, as Moorish Americans, as American autochthons, as melanated people with knowledge of self, that encompasses as many knowledge of self branches and ideologies that have existed, I feel like this is one of the first forums in which that we have to actually say exactly what we want to say. This is the best time for any of us to be alive because we may actually see a change up, a switch up into how this world that we so-called live in approaches and addresses us as individuals.
I didn't even believe it. I told Aseer, look, if my passport doesn't come back like this and like that, I'm going to re-establish how I'm navigating through this whole matrix because it's exhausting. This knowledge can drive people crazy, and I've watched it do so. So, you know, I'm not allowing that to happen to myself, and he's not allowing that to happen to him. So we might not get invited everywhere. I might not get texted back. We might not, take care of you.
That's
Love
right.
yourself.
Know what you
Embrace who you are.
Love the skin that you in.
Right. The color correctors, you can use vitamin E oil. You don't have to use acids to pull from what you have. Vitamin E, 32,000 milligrams, 32000, 32,000 units.
Even out
if you
everything.
rub a little vitamin E on your dark spots, they will fade in about 2 weeks, completely gone. You know, coffee butter. I've looked through really, really expensive magazines that sell 1 ounce of coffee butter for $65. I figured out how to use it, extract it myself, make my own. I sell 4 ounces for $40. That's what I chose to do because even if nobody buys my products, I'm going to use them from now till the day that I pass. Because that's what makes me feel good. That's what makes me look and feel nourished from the outside. So I don't really care to affect others anymore. I'm just hoping that the energy and that the love that I know I have to do things can be recognized and we can be rewarded for it. Because it's not about race, it's not about separation, and it's not about bigging me up all the time, Moors, Moors, Moors. Or what it is to say, because you don't even hear about the Moors, people don't even know about Noble Jew Ali, it's to weave that in as we talk about social media stuff. Right. It's to remind people that that too exists. And the only reason why I mess with that like that is because it was the only thing that was left to be recognized through the government as.
In regards to how much counterculture these people act like they are, as much as you see these dudes on YouTube talking about how much the white man is this and we not this and we gotta fight this and we gotta do that, and these Negroes ain't doing nothing. They are not getting no guns. They are not rising up against this government. They not doing none of that. So until you see everybody that's ready to spark the revolution revoluting like that, then what you gotta have to do and understand what is your personal revolution. What, as an American, what have you done to declare your independence or be independence outside of all of this nonsense that they want to keep feeding our people, all this hate, all of this pedantic angst, all of this.
Same thing like with the little boy. Somebody just sent me a link today about a little boy's penis. The circumcision didn't go well and his penis was cut off.
That's right.
Like, yo,
That's
this
right.
is what I mean by taking the time. It's hard at times, but don't get circumcised if you don't like the doctor that's going to necessarily perform it. Exactly. If he can't or she can't tell you certain things.
Exactly.
I made sure Moore was circumcised because that's what I wanted to do based on
That's
our culture, based on my nationality. I wanted to circumcise him, but I made sure that I got his foreskin. And I made sure that a black woman did it, that I trusted to do it. So it's to say, it's like the hospital experience I was talking about. You have to do a little bit of research to attract what you want. For example, I was watching a little girl a couple months ago, and her parents took her out of school and were like, Celina, can you watch her for me? And I did, because she was a beautiful little girl, and she was no problem for me to watch. But her parents paid the school over $4,000, but didn't have $8 an hour to pay me. So I tried doing this for a couple of weeks. And then I realized, with no groceries, with no financial help, it's actually taking my attention away from my own child. And so I mentioned it to the family, and they put the little girl right back in the school. They got her sick. They made her unwell, and said, well, we don't want to upset the school or make them feel like we want anything back from them.
Because Negroes don't stand up for themselves. They don't have no self-respect. And I'm not just talking about just them.
And these were educated black folks.
These are the most educated.
But
and
educated black folks sometimes don't want to uproot or make themselves feel too revolutionary, because then the light is put on us to be the angry black people. Like for me, for instance.
Like we don't have a reason
If I
to be.
talk and I'm not smiling, I'm angry. Because, same thing. Sometimes people see me and they're on, what's wrong? Are you okay? They're just not used to the complexities of a black woman's face. Sometimes I'm not like cheesy all the time, but it doesn't mean I'm sad. I'm just thinking about something. I've come out of a meditation, little things.
Yeah, but a lot of that also is not based on you. A lot of that is based on these thoughts that's out here, and these so-called ratchets, and the rest of these quote-unquote hoes is out here playing themselves. You got black women that's literally playing themselves to the point of like, are you even alive? Like, were you born out of a woman?
But it's like what we said, right when Miley Cyrus came out with her video. I'm jumping because I know the time is going as well. Right when Miley Cyrus came out with her album, that's when Rihanna did that stripper video.
Yeah.
Right when Rihanna came out with her pink hair this week, that's when Nicki Minaj took a selfie with no bra on.
Right.
It's like these girls.
Attention.
But you're a millionaire. You are a
not.
superstar.
Maybe not.
You have so much attention
Maybe not.
from thousands of viewers.
It's not enough.
Like, you don't have to do those things, but because she's not cooning anymore, she might not feel like a lot of people are watching her as much. And this is what I mean by the mind. You have to be in control of your mental faculties.
Right.
The same thing I realize, the people that I love the most, that I want to talk to the most on the phone, don't pick up their phone. They're not phone people. They very rarely text me back. But those are the people, the 2 or 3 people that I really look forward to talking to. So instead of putting it all on them, I just decided to not look at my phone anymore, to not be as phone invested, to not take selfies because I don't want to interrupt my life.
Speaking of that, you know what I'm saying? There's a whole generation now. Like when we came up, the selfies back in the days was like Polaroid film. So we could look at old Polaroid pictures like this.
Right.
Then the next
talking
era,
about the selfie pictures, they're all like
a whole generation of people taking pictures like this of themselves.
It's a little weird.
You know how narcissistic that
I've
is?
taken some selfies like in the house and it's been like, who does this all day?
All day.
And some of them come out great. But I think it's so weird, like you can't get somebody to take the picture. It's just very weird.
The Journal of American Medical Association just had a study done, and they were talking about how social media has destroyed people's comprehension. It's destroyed people's interpersonal relationships. It's destroyed people's ability to remember the experiences that they had because they don't use their memory no more. They just take a picture of it or video. This is
like if you go to the museum, they're taking selfies at the museum and taking pictures of what they're seeing, but then somebody asks them at the end, what did they see? What did they learn?
They got to go on their phone.
They don't remember because your mind is becoming fractured.
This also is a manifestation of how people have chosen to deal with the surveillance age that we're in. Because nobody wants to break these cameras, and because nobody wants to tell the government, stop spying on me, stop doing this, stop doing that. What people have done, like most slaves do, is they've become complacent. They have put themselves in the mythos to the point now where they, instead of fighting back against Big Brother and the all-eye seeing that's watching you, you basically just gonna just do it yourself now. Now you're just gonna inform on yourself. They don't need, you have to understand, I just also read a report that CIA and a lot of these other agencies are starting to lose money, huge tracts of money, because they don't have to investigate people no more. People that have investigated themselves to the point where they done posted everything they do on Facebook. I remember we used to wild out on during the train wars, and for those people that remember the late 80s, early 90s in New York, on the 4, 5, 2, 3, A, C, D, E, F trains and stuff, when niggas used to be wilding and all that. People used to do dirt, and then used to hide from the cameras. They used to actually reverse their jackets, put on different hats, all that to get away with it. Now, niggas is doing crimes, and they posting the crime on Facebook. They posting the crime, saving the crime in their cell phone.
And it's weird because that's not the generation that I grew up in necessarily.
That's a different
culture. So I've had
culture.
to learn how to inject myself in social media. I'm 37 this
Word,
year, so it's like I didn't even have a Tumblr account until a week ago. You know, I still don't have an Instagram account because my phone Moorish games on it. It doesn't allow me to, and I don't know how to take off all the apps to put the app on. This is what real life is like.